This is the meeting of the Buckeye Local Schools Board of Education. It's Tuesday, September 12th, just a little after 7 here. I'd like to have the call to order, please. Berkel?
Here.
Zeller? Here. Roman? Here.
Here.
And please join me in standing for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. This meeting is a meeting of the Board of Education in public for the purpose of conducting the school district's business. It is not to be considered a public community meeting. There is a time for public participation during the meeting as indicated in the agenda. Approval of minutes. Resolved that the Buckeye Board of Education approve the minutes for the special and regular meetings of August 8, 2017. Motion, please. Second? Any comments or questions? Roll call. Stahl?
Yes.
Zeller? Yes. Berkel?
Yes.
Roman? Yes. And Mann?
Yes.
The recommendation statement. Following our recommendations that have been identified for approval as part of the consent agenda for this meeting. If a board member wishes to remove any item from this agenda for further discussion prior to taking action, please let either the superintendent or board president know. Approval of the consent agenda. Resolved that the Buckeye Board of Education approve the consent agenda of September 12, 2017 as presented. I'll entertain a motion.
Motion.
Second?
I'll second.
Roll call?
Benson?
Yes.
Berkel?
Yes.
Zeller?
Yes.
Stahl?
Yes.
Yes. Mr. Morgan, would you like to introduce your special guests?
I would. It's a special time of our board meetings where we can identify and recognize our students of the month. And so look forward to hearing and being introduced to our students for the month of September. If we could have our principals come up. Now, Ms. Knapp is first up here, but I think we'll let you go second. I don't want you to, you're first. I'm sorry, I'll make your mind. I'm sorry.
We don't
Put you on the
want
spot.
I am very pleased to present Hope Woods as the primary school student of the month. Hope is currently a second grader in the primary, and it's been a pleasure to Hope for all of us to watch Hope develop into a fine, talented young lady. She's strong and a fighter in all aspects of her life. Hope continues to flourish in her academic skills and enjoys coming to school to learn. Before she goes home at night, Hope always makes sure she has homework to do. I had to read that twice. Some things that Hope loves about school is reading books, listening to music, running in the gym with her friends, and of course, recess. That one I'll do. She looks forward to cooking in the classroom on Fridays and trying new recipes, and she has such a big heart. She's respectful to her teachers, kind to her peers, and is responsible. And she truly exemplifies a Buckeye Primary Student of the Month. Congratulations, Hope.
want to introduce Adriana Darby. So when I was asked to send a student of the month, I'm new to Buckeye this year, and I thought, okay, I've known students for about a couple weeks now, and this young lady stood out to me. She's a fifth grader here, and she has made it a point to greet me every day with good morning and a smile, and not just me, just teachers in general around the building and students. Constantly positive, gives out hugs, just all around a ray of sunshine. So I did ask one of her former teachers from fourth grade to write something, and she was so excited to do this. She had stated, Adriana was a terrific student in our fourth grade class last year. I always appreciated Adriana's willingness to help and be a leader when needed. Her smile always brightened our classroom, even when the work was tough and the week seemed long. I would agree with that. Although Adriana is an all-around great person, I most admire her for her style, her honesty, and her great manners. As much as I miss her, I know she will continue to do big things in fifth grade, and that's from Mrs. Hall. So congratulations.
I'm Mr. Flood, I'm the principal of the junior high, and with me this evening I have Clayton Grisanti, and I asked his team to write a little something about him, especially being early in the year. It was pretty amazing to hear some of the things that they had to say about him, and here's exactly what they had. Even in this early part of the school year, Clayton has showed extraordinary characteristics that make him worthy of the Student of the Month for September. Clayton has shown himself to be honest and forthright regarding summer reading and other homework. He has been extremely hardworking, even completing assignments before the due date. That's impressive. It is a pleasure having class, and gratitude always goes a long way with him. Clayton's other strengths include being organized, using his resources to keep up, and then also Clayton is competing on the 8th grade football team and hopes to go out for the 8th grade boys basketball team. In addition, he is resilient and overcome challenges that's made him a very fine young man. Clayton Grisanti.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Smith, new assistant principal at Buckeye High School. Like Ms. Knapp said, I don't know many of the students, but interesting story with Greg is he's the first student at Buckeye High School that I got to meet at band practice. And he was the first student to come up and introduce himself. So I knew right away he must be something pretty special. So really honored, along with Mr. Tudor, to have nominated him for Student of the Month. Greg is currently 7th in his class, maintaining a 4.6 GPA while completing a rigorous AP coursework. Greg is a very active leader in Buckeye High School. He is the leader of Project CARE, SAB, and Huddle. He's also a section leader for the band. Last year, he completed the Junior Leadership in Medina County program and is also a member of the National Honor Society. Greg plans to continue his education with a degree in business. Our next student of the month, I just met tonight, which is interesting because I get to meet many students throughout the day. Emily's story is a little bit different because she is a full-time CCP student taking college classes to receive those college credit hours. So meeting her tonight was definitely an honor of mine. Emily is first in her class, maintaining the 4.6 GPA, taking the majority of AP and CCP classes. Emily is also a member of Huddle, FCA, and SAG. Emily also completed Junior Leadership in Medina County and is also a member of the National Honor Society. Emily volunteers as a camp counselor with her youth group and with Feeding Medina County. Emily is very active in the school choir as a member of Upbeat and Harmonics. Emily plans to continue her education with a degree in international studies.
I'd like to take a moment to thank the Educational Foundation for providing the signs again. I enjoy seeing those signs when you drive around. They're quite nice. Thank you.
We usually take a 5-minute break here so that we can take some pictures of our students of the month for the newspaper and publication. So let's do a stretch break. I know we just got started. And get those pictures taken. All right, we'll resume our meeting at this time. And we are at number 9, Treasurer's Report.
I have some items for you this evening. The first one is resolved that the Buckeye Board of Education accept the treasurer's report as presented, including all internal budgets, amendments, certificates, and appropriations to the county auditor, as on file in the treasurer's office. The next one is the permanent appropriations, which are due to the auditor's office September 30th. They're in your appendix A. Resolved that the Buckeye Board of Education approve the permanent appropriations report for the 17-18 school year as presented. Next is the healthcare billings service contract. Resolved that the Buckeye Board of Education approve the amended contract with healthcare billing service for Medicaid billing and consultation services relating to the Ohio Medicaid School Program Appendix B. They're the ones that do the actual billing services, and then the need for Medicaid. The next one would be the approval of agreement with Ray Associates, and this is the audit, certain audits the Medicaid billing program, and that would be resolved that the Buckeye Board of Education approve an agreement with Ray Associates for purpose of verifying the data reported on the Medicaid school program agency cost report. And both of those are in your appendixes. Lastly, in lieu of transportation, resolve that upon the recommendation of the treasurer, the Buckeye Board of Education approves payment in lieu of transportation by school bus for children attending accredited schools which exceed 30 minutes driving distance and which we declare are impractical to transport to in accordance with section 3327.01 of the Ohio Revised Code. Those students' names are listed here. Cohen Thomas at Messiah School and Fairview Park, and Elizabeth Berkman at St. John's School.
Thank you. We'll entertain a motion.
Motion. Second.
And any questions about those for the treasurer? Any of those reports?
Do you know how much from seeing Medicaid program?
Not yet. I have to look that up.
I'll ask them in the future. I just want to make sure there's no money.
No, it's actually 7% of what comes in.
Yeah, maybe there was $600.
Oh, for the
County
audit.
and the opposite.
Okay.
Any other questions, comments? Roll call?
Selich?
Yes.
Stahl?
Yes.
Barker?
Yes.
Mattson?
Yes.
Clayton?
Yes. Public participation. The public is invited to speak to any of the agenda items and other school topics at this time. Comments should be limited to 3 minutes. Direct questions will not be answered by Board of Education members during this meeting. However, answers will be given at a later date as appropriate. Is there anyone who wishes to speak tonight? Hearing none, we'll move on. Superintendent's informational items.
Thank you. Item A, I wanted to recognize those students that participated in the Bannock County Fair Honors Ensembles. We had 20 Buckeye students that were part of the 300 Bannock County students that performed in the pavilion at the fairgrounds on August 3rd, 2017. I wanted to give an update on our HVAC. We've been doing a couple PMs, which would be us taking care of our preventative maintenance plans for our buildings. The elementary and the junior high and the high school have all finished those, and we've identified a couple problems that we're addressing. The junior high had some 2 new condensers in the cafeteria that were updated, and we have a library unit that's also being updated. The elementary, we still have some rooms that are in process of being completed, and at the high school, we still have 1 unit down for the guidance, the home ec, and some of the science classrooms. But otherwise, we're moving pretty well with the HVAC being caught up on the maintenance with that. Item Item C is a Buckeye Foundation golf outing on Sunday, September 17th, 2017 at Bunker Hill Golf Course. Information about the event is located at www.toureevents.com/2017 BEF. So if you have an interest in doing that, that's a worthy cause for our Buckeye Education Foundation. Is a lot of supporting of our schools, our students, and our staff. And so if you're interested and you want to go out and enjoy a nice day of golf, please join us there. Item D is presentation discussion of proposed Buckeye 2018-19 school calendar, the front only, and that was in Appendix D. Those days are not, it's a draft form still, but I wanted to get the days out for any discussion if there's any items that come up as concerns. We do try and align that calendar with the Career Center, and it aligns pretty closely with where the Career Center works, their days, as well as where we are looking at potentially using ours. So hopefully the next board meeting we'll have that for voting. Item E is our administrators' presentations. I'd like to first have our new gifted teacher from the coordinator from the ESC, Janice Kolar, to come on up.
I don't really know where to stand, but wherever, I guess. As Mr. Warren said, my name is Janice Kohler. I am the gifted coordinator assigned to the district through the Medina County ESC. I am here 3 days a week, which is 1 day more than last year. So thank you to the board for adding an extra day. And this evening I want to talk about what we're doing this year with our gifted services and how those are improving scores and student achievement in the district overall. So, go ahead. It's okay, that's fine. So the new operating standards, there's new gifted operating standards that come from the state of Ohio. Those were just approved in July of 2017. I just went to the Ohio regional update last week on Wednesday, and they're now finally saying exactly what this means for districts. So it was approved in July, and districts are still trying to make sure that we are aligning ourselves to be in compliance, and we are. So that is always a good feeling. Some of the major changes will be, we have new requirements for the testing process. The state of Ohio has added that we must do a whole grade screening for creative thinking, which has not been in place before. That was not a mandate. We still have to do math, we have to do reading, we have to do that once within the K-3 grade band, and we have to do it again in the 4-6 grade band, which we currently do. So we screen for that in grade 2 and grade 4. But this year we will be adding the creative thinking piece into that. So that is a new mandate coming. And new requirements for service. So with gifted services in the district, we have certified gifted teachers. We have 3 of them in the district, 2 of which are currently providing services. One hopefully soon, who's sitting here today, science back there. And we also have many teachers that, while they don't have a gifted license, we are able to provide services if we give them what the state says, high quality professional development provided by a certified gifted instructor, I guess. And so that's what I have been doing for the district. So I want to talk about, I did talk about this. So this is what we're doing with our screening and assessment. So in grade 2, we are already testing. This is what we've already been doing. So grade 2, we are finding students who identified superior cognitive, math, reading, and now we have to add the creativity piece in there, which will be these new assessments that we do have to purchase, which will be the gates and the scales, which is a checklist, which I will train teachers how to use for those students who qualify. Grade 4, we do screen for the superior cognitive, the math and reading. We also do science and social studies. And again, the creativity is going to be new this year, and it is the same assessments at grade 4 as well. So who are we serving in Buckeye? We have cluster grouping as our model for services in grades 3 through 6. So that is where we put a group of identified students in a classroom assigned to a teacher. And again, if they do not have a gifted license, they are required to attend professional development in the area of serving gifted identified students. So currently we have a large group in grade 3. We have 3 clusters this year. We have 29 identified kids. So those kids could be kids that have either just a superior cognitive ID, just a math, just a reading, or a combination of those. But we are serving 29 students amongst 3 classrooms this year in grade 3, and that was based on their 2nd grade tests. And then we place them in 3rd grade, so we start to serve them in 3rd grade. Grade 4, we have 2 clusters, 20 kids being served. Grade 5, 2 clusters, 24 kids being served this year. And grade 6, we have 2 clusters with 32 kids being served. In the middle school, we are doing advanced courses in math and reading with the hopes that we can expand down the road to some more subjects such as the science and social studies down the road. But in the area of math, we have an advanced 7th grade math course, and we also offer Algebra 1 for high school credit to 8th graders. And I just went ahead and broke down the numbers. For the students, and it's not a requirement to take advanced math to be gifted, but the students that are in there who have an identification of superior cognitive or math, we can count them as served. Michelle Shelley has taken the professional development, and she is serving those students. So there's 19 kids this year in 7th grade advanced math, and we actually have 39 students that we have formally accelerated as 8th graders taking that 9th grade credit course. They have been formally accelerated. And out of those 39, we have 12 students that are identified gifted who will be coded as receiving services. Over here, we have the language arts. We have an advanced 7th course and an advanced 8th grade course. And out of those grade levels, we have 19 students identified in 7th grade. We have 17 students identified in 8th grade who are being served. For the high school, we are looking at our advanced placement courses. One of these, well, two of these courses. So AP Lit, AP Language is taught by a certified gifted teacher, that's Sybil Cuddy up at the high school. She has a gifted license. And these other teachers are receiving, again, the high quality professional development with myself, and these are the numbers currently that we have for advanced placement coursework. I am also looking at coding our college credit courses that are offered at the high school. The interesting part about College Credit Plus courses, since it's accredited through the university, it does not require the professional development piece because those teachers were accredited by the university to teach that class. So they do not fall under the umbrella of needing the HQPD. And this is the professional development requirements that I've been talking about. So certified gifted personnel must receive ongoing PD. So just because you have a gifted license doesn't mean that you can stop learning, right? I mean, that's education all over the place. So they are, like I said, Buckeye has 2 teachers certified in providing services, and they are participating in the professional development that I'm bringing to Buckeye each month. Non-certified gifted personnel must receive 30 contact hours of PD in year 1 and 30 in year 2. So they have to receive 60 hours of professional development between years 1 and years 2. And then after that, the state hasn't exactly said what will be required. They just say ongoing, but they haven't attached a number requirement. So again, we're still waiting for that, but this is year 1, so I guess they have another year to let us know, right? Buckeye has 7 teachers who have already met the requirement for 2017-2018. Buckeye was very very good about being ahead of the game last school year and provided some training so that those hours earned last year count towards this year. So we already have 7 teachers that have already met the requirement, and any of the hours I give them this year gets to flow over to the next year requirement, which is awesome. This is the only year that we can count the stuff from previous years. So that's great. And Buckeye has 21 teachers currently receiving trainings from me and other avenues to get our PD in place so that we are, again, in compliance. I wanted to share with you what this means. You know, why do we provide this professional development? Why is it important to train teachers when working with gifted identified students? And I wanted to show you that over time, for Buckeye, when we're looking at the performance index on the report card, 2014 and 2015, when we're looking at the report card, there's a gifted indicator on there, and we want that green check mark really bad. And for gifted, that's 3 parts. You have to meet all 3 parts to get the green check mark. And one of the components of that is the performance index. And in 2014, 2015, we wanted our performance index to be at 115, and we were at 112 point, we'll call it 8, we're gonna round up. Again, gifted services, professional development had started to be offered. We weren't serving as many students back then, but you can see in 2015 and 16, they raised the requirement to a 116, but we also raised our performance index up to 113.5. 2016-17, the requirement was a 117. We did not meet it, but again, we were increasing what students are achieving at, which is to be commended. That's the teachers doing what they should be doing with these kiddos. I will tell you that this requirement of 117, as of right now, according to the state, is staying still. So that means that we're going to keep increasing, and if they're going to keep it the same, then we're going to meet it. It's just a matter of time. So again, why are we providing this professional development? Because it's showing results, and that's important. So, and I think that's my last slide. So, do you have questions for me as a board? I know you are looking at those operating standards, and you're voting on those tonight. So, do you have questions that I can answer to clarify?
A question on the creativity. How do you test for creativity?
So creativity has 2 parts. You have a cognitive assessment, and students have to score a 112 or higher on the test that we give. And then those students are given, I shouldn't say the students are given, the teachers are given a checklist. And its characteristics, I think there's 2 different checklists. And the one that we'll use first has 10 statements. And a teacher would look at that, and they rate the student. It's one of those, this always happens, it seldom happens, you know, that type of thing. So the teacher has to really know that student, and they will complete that. And as of right now, we will be testing in the winter, so that creativity component won't be used until, I'm hoping, right around March, so that the teachers would have been experiencing a year with this kiddo before they're making these types of judgments.
Thank you.
Good question, because it isn't a test. The kid is actually not a part of that checklist at all. The teacher is doing that almost, you know, at their desk, just really thinking about that kid. So thanks for asking that question. Is there anything else that I can clarify? All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Flood and the total eclipse.
Of the heart. Well, this evening with me, I have 2 of our 4 science teachers. I have Laura Bevett and Katie Middlemas that are with me this evening. And about 6 months ago, they approached me and were talking about the solar eclipse, and were asking if this is something that we could do. And I know when everybody got their email this year, they started reading that the high school wasn't doing it, the elementaries, the primary and intermediate buildings were not doing it, and then you read that the junior high why he was doing it, and it was eye-opening. I get it, right? Come on, with me here a little bit. And so with that, I wanted everybody to be certain that these two, I promise you, had this from the minute we said go, they were off and running about it. And so I wanted them to come talk about exactly what we did, what it was about, and how truly unbelievable it was. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. Like Mr. Flood said, we found out that the solar eclipse would land on the first day of school last spring when we had the opportunity to go to the National Science Teachers Association Conference in Columbus. And so we found out from other science professionals about it, and we got excited right away. So then we started looking into classes, and it took all of the science teachers in our building along with our STEM teacher last year as to which classes do we get, which ones are safe for our students. We ended with these from Rainbow Symphony. They had the ISO on them. That was critical this year that some of the other companies were lacking. We checked it through the state that these were the right classes to be safe for our students to view. We tested them out a few times beforehand, which was not a bad deal. So that's kind of fun. So then we typed up the permission slip. We sent that home last spring.
Sure. So when we did the permission slip, we sent it out ahead of time last year thinking, being the first day of school, we might not get as many as we hope in terms of participation, but already by orientation we had 50% of our parents send back signed permission forms, and then by the first day of school, even throughout the first day of school, we still had some trickling in, and Mrs. Simmerly and Mrs. Point in the office were fantastic about gathering those and making sure every student had permission to go out, and we were only lacking about 20 students total in the school. And then we had safety precautions in place that those students stay inside and had to be accountable and signed in to a certain room so that we made sure that they weren't going out and possibly damaging their eyesight. And we were very impressed with the parents' involvement in getting that form turned in by the first day of school, being that the kids hadn't even heard of this yet, that, unless they were really involved in taking that form home at the end of last school year.
The first day normally is you get to know your students' names and maybe one fact about each, but we really had to put that off until at least day 2 or 3 because we need to give them a crash course on eclipses, why they occur and what they are within 45 minutes. So all day long we were giving crash courses on what was going to happen and what they might see. In 7th grade, I can show you, we started with, I call it the most memorable first day of school. And not only was it their first day of junior high, but we had a solar eclipse, so hopefully that's something they'll always remember. So we gave a little bit of information. I asked if they already knew about solar eclipses to pre-assess that, and then we went right into what you see in the picture there. The students had various materials. They had different styrofoam balls, they had a flashlight, binder clips, toothpicks, and it was their job to create a solar eclipse and see if they really could figure out first which celestial body was supposed to be represented by which object. And second, could they create a scale to proportion to cast a shadow from the moon onto our Earth. And so they had a lot of fun with that. And then day 2, we got to delve in more into some of the questions with the umbra, the penumbra, and other questions about eclipses.
And so in 8th grade then, I had designed kind of an exciting lesson where just to get them excited about the eclipse, like why should I care about the eclipse? And so I showed different video clips and news media outlets, Good Morning America's clip. They were really big about pumping up the public, and so that got the kids thinking about different questions about eclipse. And so after we had a discussion about, are you excited? What do you expect to see? What do you hope to see? Then we went into a couple of video clips about what is an eclipse. And just to review, because in 7th grade they do cover moon phases and eclipses as part of the curriculum later in the year, which they had not covered yet. And so after we got into the whole discussion, and there were lots of interesting questions, and the kids were really into it, and they were super excited for the afternoon, we went into safety, as did 7th grade, and we made sure, do not take your glasses off while you're looking because we were not in totality. We only had 85% coverage, and so it would have been very damaging for eyesight. And so students were excellent about that. As we were going out, they were really good to keep their heads down so that they didn't have the glasses on and fall, but then they put them on and looked up, and we saw excellent safety being observed while we were outside. And then we followed it up. The link there is really awesome. I know we don't have time tonight, but we followed it up the next day. That link actually takes you to a videographer's standpoint in Salem, Oregon, where they experienced totality as one of the first cities in the U.S. as the eclipse tracked from west to east across the United States. And it's a 360-degree video where when you're watching the video, you can pan, grab with your mouse and pan, and you get a 360-degree view of totality. And the kids thought that was fantastic because they were expecting that. They didn't know that 80% coverage was still pretty light outside, even though it got kind of eerie green, almost like a tornado. And then we also made memorable bookmarks, and I laminated them for the kids to use throughout the year. So a couple of excellent ones that I'll pass on for you guys to see examples of. So they were really into it, and it was fantastic.
This would actually capture some photos of our kids viewing the eclipse in the afternoon.
Yes.
And wrote a wonderful article about the kids and what they were doing out there. Today we actually asked some of our students what did they remember about the first day of school this year, what did they like about the eclipse. I can share a few of those with you. One said, I thought it was fun learning about the solar eclipse. The best part was learning what happens to other living things during the solar eclipse. One of the other assignments I do with students is to bring a summer science article. It could be anything that happened over the summer. And a lot of the students chose what were other animals doing during this solar eclipse or during previous solar eclipses and what we could expect. Another student said, I knew a lot about solar eclipses already, but I really liked learning about the penumbra. It was a beautiful sight and was amazing that it was on the first day of school. And I thought it was fascinating to learn about why you can only see the solar eclipse in some places. I think that is really cool to know in the future.
That's it. Thank you. And thank you for supporting us and giving our children this opportunity, our students. It was fantastic, and I know I'll never forget it. I still remember a partial eclipse from when I was in 3rd grade, so I can only imagine what they'll take on with that.
We're looking forward to the total eclipse in 7 years.
2024. 2024.
Thank you, teachers. You know, I had the opportunity to be in Myrtle Beach during the solar eclipse, but about 5 minutes after it started, the clouds rolled in. Sounds like I would have been better to be here with our junior high school students. Thank you for all the interesting information and being on top of it with our kids.
Just an extra comment too. I talked to some families and kids. They said it's the best first day of school we've ever had.
All right.
All right, we will move on then to the superintendent's recommendation.
Item A, 2017-18 school fees. Resolve the Buckeye Board of Education approve the revised school fees for Buckeye High School reflecting the device fee for the 2017-18 school year, Appendix E. Item B, Buckeye baseball field. Resolve the Buckeye Board of Education accept the initial analysis proposal submitted by Arnold Architectural Strategies for the construction of the new Buckeye baseball field, Appendix F. Item C, out-of-state field trip. Resolve the Buckeye Board of Education approve an out-of-state field trip for the Buckeye High School Ski Club. The trip is scheduled for Friday, March 2nd, 2018. Students and advisors will leave from the school at 6 a.m. and return around 11 p.m. There is no cost to the district. Item D, out-of-state field trip. Resolve the Buckeye Board of Education approve an out-of-state field trip for the Buckeye Junior High 8th graders. Their field trip to Washington, D.C. is scheduled for April 30th through May 2nd, 2018. Item E, approval of course of study. Resolve the Buckeye Board of Education approve a course of study for Career English 11 and adopt the course book as submitted by Dr. Christina Collins, Appendix G. Item F, approval of MOU. Resolve that the Buckeye Board of Education approve a memorandum of understanding between the Buckeye Board of Education and the Buckeye Local Association for the 2017-18 Mentoring Program, Appendix H. In item G, approval of payment, resolved the Buckeye Board of Education approved the submitted invoice for final payments to Parent Asphalt for paving services, Appendix I.
We'll entertain a motion.
So moved.
Second,
Second.
any questions about those recommendations?
I'd like to thank you for the detail on the payment for the parent. And how that works. Appreciate it.
Roll call?
Berger?
Yes.
Mansky?
Yes.
Mrs. Ellis?
Yes.
Stone?
Yes.
Coleman?
Yes. New business.
I have one item, first reading of the following policy. Resolved, the Buckeye Board of Education consider the policy listed below as presented. Copies of the complete policies attached to board members' agenda as Appendix J. 2464, gifted education and identification. Continue.
Yes, please.
Item 14, personnel. Item A, certified personnel. Resolved, the Buckeye Board of Education approve the following personnel items as presented. Number 1, approval to return to work. Resolved, the Buckeye Board of Education approve Ashley Sarmiento's requested unpaid family leave from September 21st, 2017 to November 1st, 2017. Item B, classified personnel. Resolved, the Buckeye Board of Education approve the following personnel items as presented. Number 1, continuing contract. Resolved, the Buckeye Board of Education approve continuing contracts for the following employees. Corinne Caniglia, paraprofessional, special needs, effective 8/14/17. Jeanette Emmerich, bus driver, effective 8/14/17. Aaron Gabeline, bus driver, effective 8/31/17. Sarah Williamson, office parapro, effective 9/14/17. Jeanette Emmerich, cook, effective 9/14/17. Mary Martin, cafeteria paraprofessional, effective 9/20/17. And Cheryl Snyder, cafeteria paraprofessional, effective 9/20/17. Item 2, employment. Resolved, the Buckeye Board of Education approved to hire Rebecca Scheinman, cook for Buckeye High School, effective September 13th, 2017. Ms. Scheinman will work 3 hours per day, Monday through Friday. She will receive a 1-year probationary contract and will be paid at step 1 for the negotiated agreement. Item 3, employment. Resolved, the Buckeye Board of Education approved to hire Rhonda Bartos, cook for Buckeye Junior High School, effective September 13th, 2017. Ms. Bartos will work 3 hours per day, Monday through Friday. She will receive a 1-year probationary contract and be paid at step 1 for the negotiated agreement. Item 4, resignation. Resolved, the Buckeye Board of Education approve the resignation of Tracy Taylor, primary playground cafeteria paraprofessional, effective August 14th, 2017. Item 5, employment. Resolved, the Buckeye Board of Education approved to hire Kim Lewandowski, intermediate playground/cafeteria paraprofessional for Buckeye Elementary, effective September 13th, 2017. Ms. Lewandowski will work 3 hours per day, Monday through Friday. She will receive a 1-year probationary contract and will be paid at step 1 for the negotiated agreement. Item 6, employment. Resolved, the Buckeye Board of Education approved to hire Kelly Leakin, primary playground cafeteria paraprofessional for Buckeye Elementary, effective September 13th, 2017. Ms. Leakin will work 3 hours per day, Monday through Friday. She will receive a 1-year probationary contract and will be paid step 1 for the negotiated agreement. Item 7, voluntary change of employment. Resolved, the Buckeye Board of Education approved to hire Tracy Taylor, Buckeye Board of Education Building Secretary for the Departments of Special Education and Curriculum, effective August 14th, 2017. Ms. Taylor will receive a 45-day probationary contract. She will work 8 hours per day, 207 days per year, and will pay step 1 for the negotiated agreement. Item 8, employment. Resolved, the Buckeye Board of Education approved to hire Carol Lynn Scheinman, bus driver, effective August 21st, 2017. Ms. Scheinman will receive a 1-year probationary contract and will be paid at step 1 for the negotiated agreement. Item 9, non-renewal. Resolved that the Buckeye Board of Education accept the recommendation for non-renewal of the probationary contract for Jared McCullough, mechanic, effective August 29th, 2017. Item C, classified substitutes. Resolved, the Buckeye Board of Education approve the following classified substitutes to work on an as-needed basis for the 2017-18 school year as presented. Item D, supplemental contract approval. Resolved, the Buckeye Board of Education approve the following supplemental contracts, pending certifications as well as resignations effective the 2017-18 school year as listed. We have 2 resignations: Andrew Bertram, junior varsity soccer head coach, and Tim Croy, volunteer swim coach. And we have revision of contracts, revised the contracts previously approved at the 8/17 board meeting for Joe Serio, .5 boys head soccer coach, and Jeff Cove, .5 boys head soccer coach, to reflect the following changes. Joe Serio, boys varsity soccer head coach. Jeff Cove, boys varsity assistant soccer head coach. Contract approval, Alexandra Redberg, 9th grade volleyball coach, Candace LeBlatney, intermediate student council advisor, Vicki Ludwig, primary student council advisor, and Michael Cummings, mock trial advisor. Resident educators as presented.
All right. We'll entertain a motion for these personnel items. Second? Second. Any questions or comments on this list? Roll call.
Stahl?
Yes.
Siselic?
Yes.
Parker?
Yes.
Manson?
Yes.
Gumpel?
Yes.
15 donations. Resolve the Buckeye Board of Education accept and recognize the following donations to Buckeye local schools as presented. Target of Streetsboro, Ohio, donated $200 in gift cards to Blanket Buddies.
Motion to accept the donation.
So moved.
Second? Second. Roll call, please.
Parker?
Yes.
Siselic?
Yes.
Manson?
Yes.
Stahl?
Yes.
Gumpel?
Yes. At this time in the meeting, we have board comments. Mr. Matson, is there anything you'd like to share?
Welcome back to school. Glad to be here.
Nothing?
Wanted to welcome you all back. Thank you for being here tonight. Wanted to thank the science teachers and the gifted. Science is such a huge thing. I work in science. And so I'm very impressed by you guys and very impressed by what you do. And thank you for doing that for our students. I wanted to take a minute to acknowledge Ryan Krisnowick. He came in the summertime. He came to a board meeting, which was very tough, and he stood in front of us and explained what he's going to do for his Eagle Scout for the schools. He completed that, a couple of very long days. We had a ton of help, probably 20 kids and adults helping, and it's back by the, right by the soccer fields, back by the shot put and everything. It looks fantastic. He did a great job. And then, of course, I have to give you a band update because I'm a senior mom, in case you guys don't know that. Saturday, we had band competition at Cloverleaf. By far the best group that I've ever seen. There's 86 kids. When my son started in 8th grade, I think there was 51. So that just shows how much, what a program we're building. They came this close to state. They came in third in the entire competition. And by this time next month, they'll make state. So I'll be telling you guys about that. Once again, thank you for coming.
Thank you everyone for coming. I appreciate it. Thank you, Janice, for your presentation. It was awesome. And science teachers, that's, kids will remember that for years. And so here's my story. 86, 8th grade, Tom Major, junior high teacher, awesome guy. Haley's coming. So that's what we did when I was in junior high. And we had t-shirts made and everything, and we did a little viewing party. So Monday, April 8th, I believe, is when it comes. It comes at like 5, 6 o'clock at night, I believe, so it's pretty late. So we're going to have to figure something out. It's a total. So I don't know if we're going to all meet at the school on the football field and have a great time. That'd be awesome. Ryan, as a track parent who walks through the mud all the time back there, it's great to see what he did back there. It looks very nice, so thank you so much. And still only a $100 band update, but that's cool because I've got an 8th grader, so I'll do it next year. So thank you for being here. Welcome back to school. Appreciate it. Thanks.
And I'd just like to say welcome back to school. I can't believe that we've already been in school for a few weeks. It seems like we never went home, but it's just wonderful to hear teachers and administrators present to us about the education of our students because really that's why we're here. So thank you so much.